Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of Military's Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, we're going to talk about what makes Virgos cynical. Now, this is the continuation of the series. I just went through Leo. Now we're talking about Virgo right now. And this is the relationship between the Sun and Mercury. So this is what makes it have three types. Now, Virgos are cynical. Let's talk about Virgos in general. Now, Virgos is mutable earth. Mutable earth. Mutable means being changeable and being adaptable to your own or other people's ways of, and in this case, thinking and practicality, because the earth signs are thinking and practicality. The air signs are thinking and communication. The water signs are the feelings and the emotions. The fire signs are the feelings and the seeing. They see their feelings. So what happens here is, so it's the visions and spirituality. So what happens here when you got to when you go into being a Virgo sun sign, what makes you cynical, because Virgos deals with details, communicating details, analyzing, you know what I'm saying, scheduling, particularizing, you know what I'm saying, and doing things in a practical nature that's dealing with the senses being amongst earth. So right here you have the you know what cynical mean. You know what I'm saying? Prejudging or being, or having a kind of representation or picking up the sense of another person's expression. So breaking it down in a way to the point that they can break you down by what you wear, the way you act, this, that, and the third. It's a very detail orientated sign. So right here, when it comes to it's three versions of Virgo cynical. So here's the three different cynical types when it comes to Virgo, and it's going to deal with the only placements Mercury could be in. Mercury could only be in Virgo itself, and this will be the self-cynical Virgo. Then if you have Mercury and Leo, this will be the cynical expression of Virgo. You know what I'm saying? This will be the cynical expression Virgo, the expressor of it. Then if you have Mercury and Libra, then this what makes you the cynical asset. The cynical, it could be the cynical asset or the cynical liability. Now let's break this down. Let's start off with Mercury being in Virgo suns. So right here, this is the self-cynical. So right here, Virgo loves the Mercury loves to be here, but like I said, anytime planets are conjuncting, it still can cause friction because it's two planets trying to do the same thing at the same time, and it really depends on which planets are actually doing that, whether it's going to be a good or bad outcome. Now when it's the sun is your actions and the way you act. Mercury, now you're going to deal with the same problem that Gemini may have when Gemini have a Mercury in Gemini also. Now, when you have it here, you take all this detail, all this thinking of practicality, all this analyzing, and you place it within your own thinking and communication. So you place it within yourself now. So the way you act and how your actions is, a lot of times you act on your own insecurities. You act on your own perfectionist things and things that, so you may try to overly cover up things, overly dress, overly perfect yourself, overly do something to kind of give you the perceived way of actually wanting to be perceived in a practical way, and not feeling less of yourself. So you have to actually always look the part. When you don't, you get discouraged and your life go down the drain because nothing's going to be perfect. See, that you got a lot of Virgos that can go down that drain, but you got a lot of Virgos that like to stay up with it. It may be hard for them, but they still like to stay up with themselves because they may be dealing with a lot of things that emotionally inside with them. So this a lot of times may be the moody Virgos when you have Mercury in Virgo with the Virgo sun, because you're thinking and communicating, but a lot of times it's about your self-doubt, and then a lot of times you may throw it on others and may throw it on others' conscience and other things, and make other people believe things that may only you believe. You know what I'm saying? So be wary of that. Make sure you're doing that in a positive aspect and not in a negative, critical kind of way. You know what I'm saying? If you're a Virgo, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about. So if you got a Virgo sun with Mercury Virgo there also, you actually know what I'm talking about. So you're going to think and communicate about all the wrong things that's going on within your own life, and be able to see what's going on in other people's life, and be able to try to help them, or even hurt them to a certain degree. Not hurt them like physically, but you know, add on to their pain, because you thinking this is a practical way of how to release yours. So you think talking down or bringing someone else's insecurity up make you feel better about yours sometimes. So a lot of times you got those kind of Virgos, you know what I'm saying, those cynical, negative ones, but then you got the positive ones that try to help people appreciate their flaws. You have those ones, but both of those archetypes is going to come from the Mercury being in Virgo suns, because you're self-aware and always thinking about your own details, your own schedule, and your own things, to the point that you do this with others, and a lot of times you become pushy onto others, and a lot of times others may make you you may make others feel like you try to be a neat freak, or you try to be something that you ain't, but a lot of times you're not. You're just trying to fulfill what you think things should be. Now that's the self-cynical Virgo, when the Mercury is in Virgo. Now you have the cynical expression, which if you're a Virgo, you have Mercury in Leo. This is the cynical expression. Now Leo is fixed fire, being fixated on its own, in this case, seeing and feeling. So they are fixated on their own way of seeing things and their own way of feeling about things. So they see it how they see it, and they feel how they feel about it. So this is the way you think, and this is the way you communicate. So a lot of times when it gets filtered out through your sun sign, the way you act and your actions, that expression is getting filtered through actually analyzing, actually detail. So you actually express flaws, express distaste, express things that you don't like in a very dramatic way. So what happens here, a lot of time you are the expression. So your sun sign, you may come around and you may not even be thinking of telling someone to clean up or something like that, but just the way you carry yourself and the way you think and communicate, Mercury being in Leo, the energy and the aura that's might fuse through your expression, a lot of times you may just make others feel like, oh, here this person come, let me clean up real quick, because this person always talking about something, or this person probably always think I'm dirty, or this person always think I ain't doing something right. So you get with your energy, you get people in check before you even come around. If you just call a person telling you about to come over, then clean up things that you may have expressed a distaste for before. You may have not even felt the way about it, the way they felt, that the way they took it, but you just your expression of it is a grandeur expression, because this is what your mind on, the way you think and the way you communicate. So it's in Leo, it's a center stage, and then it's more about how you see things, the way you feel about things. So if that's how you thinking and communicating, and then if your actions, the way you act, is in Virgo, like I said, which this was the series about, of your sun, and then the three different types, which is the three signs Mercury going to be in. If the way you act in your actions is paying attention to details, analyzing, you know what I'm saying, only wanting to take action towards work, or wanting to take action towards seeing how something works or something like that, but the way you thinking and the way you communicating is about your way of seeing it and the way you feel about it. And then the moment your actions, and the moment you see something that you distaste or dislike, or something, or even something you do like, or something that you do desire, something that you do want, you express it. So these are the expressive Virgos right here. These are the ones that's not so reserved as the Mercury in Virgo. These ones are the more expressive ones. The more want to turn their talents into turn the things that they think about and things that they feel like they should be expressing into some type of business, or some type of organization, or it could be an asset to somebody else, or you know what I'm saying, or it be a liability to somebody else, to the point that people get tired of you. It can be like that too. But a lot of times you're just trying to get from point A to point B, regardless of what you got to do to get there. You know what I'm saying? So whether you got to do something that someone else is doing, or whether you got to, it doesn't even matter when it comes to this placement right here. A person who got Virgo sun with Mercury and Leo. So they like to think and communicate, but they like to think and analyze the expression of a million of expressions, but the way how they see it. And then when they put it into action, which is Virgo, they do it in a very detailed way. So if they think about being a creative person, they put it into action in a very detailed and work towards it way. You know what I'm saying? And gradually do it and put it into action and meet the right people and talk to the right people and things like that. So, you know what I'm saying? That's the expressor Mercury right there. That's the, because I wrote this down. You know what I'm saying? So that's the That's the cynical expression, Virgo. Then you got the cynical asset, Virgo. That's if your Mercury is in Libra. Now, if you're a Virgo and your Mercury is in Libra, this would make you a cynical asset, to the point that you're cynical and critical when it comes to relationships, when it comes to relating to people, places, and things. You may feel uncomfortable because you think, and like, what is Libra? Libra is cardinal air. Cardinal is initiating and creating new, and air is thinking and communication. So a lot of times when a person is trying to create or initiate a new way of thinking or communicating to someone, it's more on a one-on-one basis with someone. You know what I'm saying? Other than a broad perspective of a group organized from a one fixed way of looking at things like Aquarius, or from a way of just looking at a million things at one time, being a jack of all trades like Gemini. This is more of what can we let's build a one-on-one relationship, so we can have an individual. So I can have an individual relationship with each person in the group. That's when Libra, the communication of Libra, come in. So it creates balance, fairness. So it can see where this person at and see where this person is not getting, and see how I can balance that out, other than trying to do everything as a whole for everybody and not care about the little things like Aquarius, or other than trying to communicate every little thing like the Gemini. The Libra is trying to initiate and create new one-on-one ways with each person, so they can come up with fair things to do and diplomatic skills. So right here, this is what makes Libra, not Libras, but right here, when we talk about Virgos and what makes Virgo cynical, this is the cynical asset right here. Because right now, this is what you're thinking and communicating about. You're thinking and communicating about and analyzing about communicating and thinking with people. And then when it comes out with your actions, you know what I'm saying, you're doing it in a cardinal way, first of all, when it comes to your thinking and communication, which is Mercury. And air signs are the thinking and the communicators. But right here is cardinal thinking and communicating. So your mind is on creating new ways and initiating new ways of thinking and communicating amongst others. So when it gets played out through your actions, it's doing that based upon work, or working on relationships, or working on goals with friends, working on something with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Being in some type of business, being in some type of orientation with others. You know what I'm saying? So that's how this one thinks. It plays it out into action. You know what I'm saying? And these are the ones who may have a lot of lack of love in their life. So they're in search for love, because Venus falls here. But when you have Mercury here, Mercury rules Libra. So it has a thought of what love's supposed to be, but it doesn't get it. So a lot of times these could be resentful Virgos also, because they jump in relationships, but bad relationships, due to the fact because they think that's how things are supposed to be, and anything too good is too perfect, and it's not a reason to be in that because it's not real. So that's how they create situations for themselves to make something more grounded, more reality, and not fantasy like, to the point that things don't go on for a long amount of time and then get found out wrong, like the things that Scorpio do. This is how Virgos can help Scorpio. Look at the details of someone now, to the point that you don't have to experience that long emotional drought with all that time that you wasted with that person. You know what I'm saying? Virgos can see it now. They create situations and tests now. They don't create long-term tests like Scorpio. They create tests now to see what kind of actions this person to do. Then they analyze to see if this person going to be here whenever we get to there, and if that person acting this way right here, then there's no point for us to get to there. So the Virgo will create the situation to get up out of there, period. Other than the Scorpio, right, sometimes they'll let it get to here, then stab this person in the back and hurt both parties, sting both parties, themselves and that person, when they really didn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? By just being secretive, and that, you know what I'm saying, secretive and the detective go together. But when you being too secretive, the detective work is and you just being happy with being secretive, there's no need for the detective work, because you don't care, you're just too happy being secretive. See, that's what that sextile can help, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, you know what I'm saying, Virgos, you know, when you have the cynical asset, this is when it's in Libra. You know what I'm saying? So when it's in Libra, right here, it wants to do that with others, and it wants to do that with something, a person, place, or thing. It has to be relating to something, because that's the way it thinks and communicate. It has to relate it to something, then it's able to relate it to other details, related to other metaphors, related to how other things work, to how this works. So these people are good with words, good with talking their way into things, talking the coat off your back, and things of that nature. And they know how to add on to whatever ideas you have, and know how to make it work. You know what I'm saying? So these are good people to have around right here also. So that's your 3 types of Virgos right there, and this what makes Virgos cynical. Flight boss, bitch. Goddamn.